Happy Friday, everyone. Just a quick little video. Hopefully it won't take up too much of your time. And I hope this encourages you because it definitely encouraged me. So today, as usual, nothing new. Thinking and self-reflecting about my role as an encourager and as a helper. Well, birds of a feather do flock together. And so my flock, people who I'm connected to, who love me, those who really support me, are themselves encouragers and helpers. And we do tend to look out for each other. And there's a boundary dealing with an encourager and a helper. So if that's you, which is a lot of us are, if you're not raising your hand, come on, seek God for that one. That's what we do day to day. Then the smallest things or even the biggest ways. But there's boundaries that comes with it. If you're a helper or an encourager and you find yourself frustrated, angry, irritable, guess what? You're violating your boundaries without even realizing it. Now, of course, the greatest creator of boundaries is God himself, because literally boundaries are there to protect you and also to keep you free and stressless and peaceful with everyone you're connected to, and also being peaceful with yourself and with God himself. So it's very important to understand your boundaries as an encourager and a helper. Where we cross the line, unfortunately, some of us encouragers and helpers, we cross the line when we start putting our hands on things. Well, when I say putting our hands on things, literally, we're doing stuff for people that's not our responsibility to do. Yes, we are supposed to carry each other's burdens, but we carry and lighten each other's loads in different ways, not by picking it up and taking responsibility for something that they're responsible for. An example, I love helping people look for jobs and also review their resumes for them. I like doing it. Some people, tell me I'm supposed to get paid for it, but neither here, neither there. That's what I like to do. The way that I take on someone's burdens and their responsibility is when I start applying for jobs for them, or I'm spending time and energy that I'm supposed to have for myself to encourage them. That doesn't take much at all, but I'm looking for jobs for them. Now, the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, me leading you to the water is giving you resources and information on how to look for jobs, whether that's through the workintexas.com website, workintexas.com, or by providing a whole list of all the state agencies that are available in Texas. Tidbit, there's over 150 state agencies in Texas. So if someone's goal is to work for the state of Texas, that's a lot of agencies to apply for. So I can be helpful and give out a list of those agencies with the websites there. But to actually sit there and go into the websites and find every single job that an individual would like to apply for, that's crossing the boundary. Because that's taking time and energy that I may need for something else to carry on something that I'm not responsible for. So therefore, instead of me just leading the horse to water, now I'm drinking the water that was supposed to be for the horse, meaning the person who's supposed to be the one looking for the job. Now I'm putting my hands in the situation. Get the concept? So therefore, I have to understand my own boundaries. I can give out the information, get them connected to whoever they need to talk to, or provide resources. That's me helping and being an encourager, not doing it for them. It just is in the realm of the God factor. I call it the God factor because that's God's territory that I'm not supposed to put my hands on. Now, granted, if I do provide, the resources and information to a person and the door is open for them to get a job, that's great. That's for God to get the glory, not me. Because at the end of the day, it was their responsibility to apply for the job, not mine. So me giving the information, give God glory for that I was able to be that vessel that he used to help you out. But I'm not supposed to get the glory of the results because that's God opening that door. He operates in that realm. I'm just the one that's being a helper. See what I mean? So being an encourager and helper in whatever relationship, it could be a parent-child relationship or even adult children, an employer-employee relationship, spouses relationship, friendships, and other relationships, any relationships. when you're a helper and encourager, what you don't want to do is overstep your boundaries where all of a sudden it looks like you're playing God in the situation by actually doing it for them instead of them taking the responsibility for what they're supposed to be doing. The reason why God actually develop boundaries is to understand not only what our roles are and be clear about it and understand it, but also to protect us from our own selves. Because we can tend to overdo it. We get stressed out. All of a sudden, unfortunately, everyone's level of stress is different, but our bodies take on more than what it's supposed to be. And that shows up mentally and it shows up in our bodies. If you're getting massive headaches, something is going on outside of just allergies. And if you have a migraine problem, I'm so sorry. But if you're taking on more of a stressful situation than you were supposed to, it shows up in your body in the form of migraines, headaches, losing your hair. Hey, I know we're not supposed to be vain or conceited, but I do like having my hair. And I'm sure that you know that everyone else, unless you're have the hereditary, factor of baldness, it happens. Can't help where your genetics come from, but that's okay. But it's some things that do show up in our bodies in a form of stress because we're taking more responsibility than what is supposed to be in our domain. So keep your hands off of things that your hands are not supposed to be on. And also, you can always seek God yourself to find out, okay, God, I would love to help my sister or my brother regarding this issue. What is my role? And he would clearly tell you what it is. You just have to listen for him. And sometimes he does it in a way that's unexpected, such as speaking to a stranger about a boundary issue. Well, those who don't know me, of course, I'm a stranger. And this stranger has actually listened and talked with people, encouraged in a loving way about how to establish their boundaries. Just a little tidbit. But I don't take up too much of their time because, of course, if you have a bag of groceries and you have a baby on your lap, of course, you're taking on more than what you need to, and you just happen to run into me, and you just need some friendly advice, encouragement, and some love. That's it. So, lovely, I say, encouragers and helpers, understand your role. Seek God for your role in whatever situation you're in, because those who encourage and help me, literally, they talk to God before I even pick up the phone and talk to them. Why? Because they don't want to overstep their boundaries, especially when God has me on an assignment and they don't want to tell me anything wrong. And I do the same for them because God has them on assignment and I understand my role. And the assignment can be in various ways. The most common assignments that people kind of misinterpret or don't really understand their own assignment is the work environment. Well, when you're at work, you're on assignment until God says, hey, there's another opportunity. I need you to walk through this door. But meanwhile, while you're at a job, that's your assignment until God tells you, hey, let's go ahead and start looking for another place of employment. But meanwhile, when someone's at a job and they're upset about something or things may be going on at the job, sometimes it's for them to learn a lesson. Listen, Linda, listen. A lesson. And a lot of times, to be honest, I'm a witness to it, the blessing is the lesson. So those who are saying, oh, blessings, guess what? Blessings are in the lessons. Keep that in mind. So if you're an encourager, helper, I hope and pray that this really encouraged you and actually motivate you even more to understand that even we encouragers and helpers need to understand our boundaries and make sure that now we're not carrying on something that we're not supposed to carry. And also too, little tidbit, don't try to be the buffer between God and somebody else, especially when God is the one dealing with them. Don't be the buffer. Experience. I've done that before. But yes, I hope you take this message in love. And for the encouragers and helpers, we are encouragers and helpers to one another, but it comes with boundaries. So have an awesome Friday and a great weekend. And also, remember, you have a relationship and a fellowship with God himself, and use it. It's a privilege. It's your right too. We'll talk about that later. But understand who you are, why you're here, what your role is, even in someone else's life, and understand the value of boundaries is to help you with you within the limits that God puts you on. And guess what? He gives you a lot of freedom, even in the limits. So love you all. And I pray that this helped you all and encouraged you. And remember your boundaries. Mwah.